This is the pre-drill webinar for the 2021 RadResponder Nationwide Drill for launching radiological simulation files. This drill is going to take place next week. So just a little background information about what the Nationwide Drill is and what this one is going to allow you to accomplish. The launching radiological files in Nationwide Drill is going to allow you all to leverage the two new capabilities that the RadResponder network has, the custom radiological simulation feature, and then our new CBRNResponder mobile application. This drill is going to allow you and your organization, along with any partners, the opportunity to utilize these new features in a training environment where our team can provide live on-demand support for you during the drill. So the purpose of today's pre-drill webinar is to provide you all with some guidance and some skills that you are going to need for the actual Nationwide Drill. Some of this may be repetitive to you, but we still want to make sure we run through each of these topics to provide an understanding. So the first skill is event creation. We will then focus on creating a simulation file from a template. Also downloading and uploading the KMZ files to the event map. And on the mobile app side, we are going to focus on utilizing the new CBRNResponder mobile app, setting up the simulation file that you create on the mobile app, and then entering surveys from the mobile app. We do have some job aids and user guides that apply to the skills that we are going to go over, so feel free to take a look at these. They're in our resource document library in the user manual and job aid folder, as well as the special feature webinar folder. Some of you may have been on the CBRNResponder mobile app webinar we had on Wednesday. That video and the slides are uploaded to our library, so feel free to take another look at those if you were able to attend, or if you weren't, you can take a look at that video and the slide deck for more information. As I'm going through this, I am going to focus on the features that are going to be used during the drill, but you do not need to follow along on your own device or take any notes. We will provide these drill instructions to you prior to the start time of the drill, about 15 minutes before. We will only be sending these instructions to users that have registered from the GoToWebinar link. So if you have not already registered for the Nationwide Drill, I would recommend doing so sooner rather than later. That way it's not a few minutes before the drill and you realize you don't have the drill instructions. I will now walk through the skills that are going to be needed for the Nationwide Drill. The first one is the event creation process. So you must have the event creator role to create an event. If you do need this role, make sure that you do coordinate with your organization administrator and they can provide this role to you for the drill. There are two ways that you can create an event. One is from the post login homepage. So in that events tile, you'll see the create button. And you can also use that event space drop down and click the create an event button. Both of these options will take you to the same event creation form. So this probably looks familiar to some of you, but I will going to now go through the different fields and talk about how you will use those during the drill. So for the name, the event naming convention is going to be given to you in the drill instructions. And this is just a way to make sure there's a unique name. You can easily find the name of your event when you're on the mobile app. The type is going to be an exercise or drill. The sharing mode, this will depend on if you want to include your partnering organizations for the events. So if you would like that, you can do the partners only option, or you can do the my organization only. So that decision is up to you all. And the scenario is going to be a nuclear power plant. So again, this will all be given to you in the drill guidance. No need to remember or write this down now. As for the release point of the event, you want to make sure that you are selecting a location near yourself where you are that day. And this is because you want to make sure it's in a location that you can easily walk around in or quickly drive around to if you need to. We are going to be asking you all during that drill guidance to collect some simulated readings around the area of the event. And then once you have filled out those fields, you want to make sure you save that event. After the event has been created, you now want to create a simulation file from a template. And again, you must have the event manager role to do this. But the simulation capability is a new training and exercise tool that we have on our CBRNResponder mobile app and on our website. And this allows users to create radiological simulations. And then you can use an underlying source file or preset template. And you can then view simulated readings for alpha, beta, and gamma radiation via the mobile application. So here on the left, you can see in that image, we do have pre-created template scenarios, and you will be using a template for the drill. And then on the right, you can see that from the mobile app, you will see those simulated readings, and then they will populate on the event map in that file. So that was a very high-level overview. I'm going to go a little more in depth of what you will need to do during the drill. So once you're in your event space, you will see under the configuration menu from the left-hand side menu, the simulations page. Once you're on that, you want to create. The simulation process is a 4-step wizard, so it will walk you through the required fields and other information that you need to fill out. For step 1, you will be filling out general simulation details. This is how you want the simulation to be set up. So for the case of the drill, we are going to create a new from template. The fields, again, similar to the event, these will be given to you in the drill guidance the day of the event, so no need to try to memorize these or anything. For the title, you want to make sure it's a unique name that you will know this is the simulation that you have created for your event. You can enter an optional description if you would like, just to provide a little more information. You want to make sure the is active checkbox is checked off. That way, this is the active simulation, meaning it is enabled for your use on your mobile device. And the input mode by default is set to manual entry, and we would like that to be left as so. Once you have entered the general details, step 2 is where you can select the template. The template scenario that we would like you to select for the drill is going to be given you in the drill instructions, but all you would need to do is just click that select button and it will automatically populate from there. Once you have that template selected, these are the fields that you will be required to fill out. So you need to make sure the simulated start date and time is your current date and time of when you're creating the simulation. So once you are going through the drill guidance, it should read the current date and time of when you're creating that simulation. And the simulation end date will automatically populate to be a week after the start date. For the wind direction mode, we are going to have you leave that as the degrees option. And the wind direction value will be given to you in the drill guidance. For the location mode, we want this to be set at an existing release point of event. And this is why you want to make sure you set the release point of event to an area that you are in or around. That way, when you're collecting those readings, the simulation file will be in that area. Step 3 is to confirm and review your simulation. So you will see the details and fields you have filled out. If everything looks good, you are going to save the simulation. And sometimes, depending on the size, it may take a minute or two, so no need to worry that it's not getting created. And once it has been successfully saved, you will see that message that says it was created successfully. So now that the simulation has been created, you will now want to download and then upload these files to the event map. So once you got that confirm save message, if you click the done button, or if you just view the details, you will see the download KMZ button in the top right. So you're going to want to click that, and the files will be downloaded into a compressed zip folder. And to upload these to the map, you will need to extract the KMZ files from the folder. So we do have direction on this in the actual drill guidance if you're not familiar with this process. So we will have a link that you can use, and it will walk you through the process. Once the files are extracted and are individually in that folder, you will then want to upload the files individually to the event map. So from the GIS files layer on the map, you'll click that upload button. It will allow you to enter a name, and then you will add the file. So now that we have the simulation and the event set up, we are now going to focus on how you're going to utilize those features on the mobile app. So this is where the new CBRNResponder mobile app comes in. Again, if you were on the webinar on Wednesday, some of this may be a bit repetitive, but we want to make sure that we're getting across the CBRNResponder app has these new features that are going to be a great addition to your organization and its usability. So the RadResponder and ChemResponder apps, those individual apps, if you do have them, you will not be able to utilize the radiological simulation feature. This is only on the CBRNResponder app. So you do want to make sure you have that downloaded if you have not already. The login metrics will still be the same. You do not need a new username or password. And the CBRNResponder app does include, again, those limited features such as user drawings on the map. You can view GIS files from the app, and the radiological simulations feature, which is what we are going to be focusing on in the drill. And just a note, the RadResponder and ChemResponder apps are going to eventually be removed from the App Store, and we will no longer support them beginning late summer 2022. So it is best to download the CBRNResponder app. That way you can start making that transition. We do get some questions about, will that CBRNResponder app still include the features on the Rad and Chem individual apps? And that is definitely the case. It still combines all features from the Chem and RadResponder specific apps. It's just now on the single application. So for those of you that have multi-hazard organizations, this is a great feature for it to all now be in one place. We do have version 1.0 of the app available for download on iOS, Android, and Windows devices from the respective app stores. If you search CBRNResponder, you will see it come up, and you can download it. It is free to download. And the image there is from the Apple App Store, but again, it is on the iOS, Android, and Windows stores as well. Once you all do have the app, you are going to sign in. And again, this is the same Rad and ChemResponder username and password that you currently use. So no need to worry about changing your credentials there. And then once you click the login button, you will be brought to the CBRNResponder landing page. So now that you're on the landing page, you're logged in, you can now select an event and start using that simulation file. So to select the event, you can click that green button and then search for the event that you have just created. So this is going to be the event you create the day of the drill. Once you have the guidance, you want to make sure, again, that's a recognizable name that you can search and know it is your event. Once you have selected your event, you will be brought to the configuration page. And again, this is very similar to how it functioned on the Rad and ChemResponder app. We do have the simulations tab that you are going to want to open. And when you open that, you should see the simulation file that you created. So you can see the title, description, start and end date, and you want to click download simulation. And once it has been downloaded, you can click the check mark in the right corner, and you are now ready to collect data. So for the purpose of using the simulation feature, we are going to be collecting surveys. So on that submit data page, you would want to click the survey icon. So when you're brought to the create survey form, the form itself is identical to the normal survey form when it's not in a simulation mode. You will see those messages that will pop up. So I know I'm in simulation mode because of that green message bar at the top. You can also see that there are some red warning messages, and these let you know what fields you need to have filled out to be able to use the simulation. So in this middle image, I need to select one piece of equipment, either a meter or a probe, to obtain a simulated value. And a height is also required to obtain a simulated value. So you want to make sure these are filled out, and then once they are filled out, so here I've selected an equipment item. We do have a filter for showing only simulation equipment. If you toggle that on, we do have equipment that you will be provided during the drill, so no need to create any equipment items for this. We will provide that information the day of the drill. Once you have that equipment selected, you can see that those warning messages went away. And I also have selected a height. So now I am currently ready to view simulated readings. So there you can see in that red box I have highlighted, it's currently giving me a reading. The simulation mode does fluctuate the readings, and this is to simulate using real radiological meters and probes. So it should be fluctuating. Don't be alarmed that it is. This is how it's supposed to be functioning. So during the drill, it will let you know how many readings you will need to collect and things along those lines. But so once those readings are collected, you are going to want to view this data on the event map. To navigate to the map, we are back on the website now. We will click the map tab, and you will see those readings now populate that you have collected. So we want to make sure that we do have that simulation template GIS file toggle on. That way we can see different areas of the simulation and why readings in a specific area may be higher or lower than other areas. To view specific survey readings and their values, you can click on those icons and the quick details menu will open up, and you can see more in-depth information. And you can also click the additional details button to view additional information such as assessment information, indoor attachments, etc. So that was a quick run through of the different skills you are going to need for the launching radiological simulation files nationwide drill next week. If you would like advanced guidance on the simulation functions and features, we do have the Radiological Simulations Manual located in our resource library. This is in the user manuals and job aids folder, and then there's a specific radiological simulations folder. So this provides a much more in-depth outline of the simulation feature. So feel free to check that out if you are interested. The radiological simulation files on the CBRN app document, that is also going to provide some additional guidance. If you have not already registered for the nationwide drill, you should do so soon. That way you are making sure you're receiving that drill guidance. You can do this from our RadResponder pre-login homepage. You just can click those links there and it will take you to the registration page. Make sure you're registered for that webinar through the GoToWebinar link. That way you will receive an email with those drill instructions. Taking a look at the upcoming week, we do have an optional communications check the day before the drill, September 7th from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on September 8th, that is the nationwide drill execution, so from 1 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. An in-depth look at the drill schedule, so at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 15 minutes prior to the start time of the drill, you will all receive drill instructions as long as you are registered. 1 p.m. is the official start time and introduction of the nationwide drill. And starting at 1 and ending at 2:30, you will all be using the drill guidance to complete the drill activity. After that, from 2:30 to 2:45, there will be an internal hot wash, and this is outlined on the drill guidance as well, so you will see instructions on that. And then at 2:45, the remainder of the drill, so 3:30 p.m., there will be a drill hot wash and some presentations for the entire group.